Here we are back with a topic related to NBA players that may create your interest, not just in the field of pushing ball into the basket, but rather it's about the players themselves. Unless you're a sumo wrestler or an offensive lineman, professional athletes are not supposed to be overweight. For athletes, their body is their temple. Their full-time job is not only to make sure they have certain skills, but to make sure that their bodies are in tip-top shape. And to be fair, most athletes are in phenomenal shape. By all accounts, most NBA players are human specimens, but of course, there are always some outliers for everything. Some are simply eating up roster space and are on their way out of the league, while others have been able to become solid contributors for their respective teams. But all players on the list share one common trait: they are out of shape. So, without further ado, let's discuss the top 10 heaviest players in the NBA. So let's begin. Number 10. Zach Randolph, 260 pounds. In 2009 and 10, Zach Randolph made his first NBA All-Star appearance. Although that proves that he can certainly get it done on the court, he's always been a bit on the chubby side. And that being said, his weight has often limited his athletic ability. As a result, he is a horrible defender, and he can barely get off the floor. Consequently, when he actually is able to dunk in a game, it tends to make headlines. Nevertheless though, his wide-bodied physique likely factors into him becoming so efficient on the boards, as he has averaged double-digit rebounds in 5 of his 9 NBA seasons. So with that nasty attribute to his game, coupled with his decently quick feet and smooth jumper, just imagine how good Zach could be if he managed to shed a few pounds. Number 9. Glen Davis, 289 pounds. If your nickname is Big Baby, then you're probably not a great physical specimen. It doesn't help his cause when opposing fans are able to terrorize him with well-thought-out insults like Fat Boy. Furthermore, citing his high school success as a defensive lineman, in 2009, Davis stated his desire to someday play professional basketball, a sport that rarely accepts obese athletes. But regardless of all this, Davis is playing an essential role for the perennial contending Boston Celtics. Number 8. Sean May, 300 pounds. Sean May went from being a national superstar in college at North Carolina to a promising young player on the Charlotte Bobcats, to an individual whose injury and weight concerns nearly forced him out of the league. In 2008, the 6'9" May underwent microfracture surgery, and during his time off from basketball, he grew upwards 300 pounds. Since then, he has been the subject of numerous fat jokes, and even had weight stipulations added into his most recent contract with the Sacramento Kings. At that time, May was signed by the New Jersey Nets, but following a stress fracture in his foot, he was waived. Now injured and off his feet, the question looms as to whether he will be able to keep from inflating up to 300 pounds again. If not, and with no current team, Sean May's brief NBA career would have to come to an end. Number 7. Keith Gallen, 302 pounds. There is nothing tiny about Keith Gallen. Furthermore, while in college at Oklahoma, he gained notoriety for shattering a backboard on a failed alley-oop attempt. Yet his draft status has been often in question, due primarily to his weight issues. However, the Milwaukee Bucks saw some promise, selecting Gallen with the 47th overall pick in the 2010 NBA draft. So as long as he can keep his weight down and not eat his way out of the league, Keith "Tiny" Gallen has a chance to sign on with another squad and continue pursuing his NBA dream. Number 6. Dexter Pittman, 303 pounds. After losing 100 pounds to prepare for the NBA, the 6'10" Pittman weighed in at 303 pounds, tied for 9th of all time at the pre-draft combine. But he shocked onlookers by registering a 20.4% body fat measurement. Still, the Miami Heat selected Pittman with the 32nd overall pick, ultimately signing him to a 3-year contract. However, with all of the talent now surrounding him in South Beach, coupled with the comfort and security of his multi-year deal, it would have been easy for the rookie center to slip up and physically regress. And if that was to happen, Pittman's first contract could have also been his last. Number 5. Yao Ming, 310 pounds. At 7'6", being 310 pounds is not necessarily overweight, but that is a whole lot of weight for any person to carry. It is no coincidence that Yao ended up having some major foot problems in the middle of his career. Being big and tall is almost a prerequisite to becoming an NBA player, but at a certain point, one can be too big and tall for the NBA, and Yao's head was in another stratosphere compared to everyone else's. Still, Yao had a brief but amazing career in many ways. He was the segue for the NBA to enter into Asia, a feat that made the 7'6" big man even bigger in stature. Number 4. Kevin Duckworth, 320 pounds. Despite such a heavyweight, Duck was a two-time All-Star and won the Most Improved Player in the 87-88 season. The big Duckworth had a very solid 11-year pro career, when his weight was south of 300 pounds. Duckworth was a very effective player. In his 5th year in the league, he averaged an impressive 18.1 points per game and 8 rebounds per game. However, as he got older, he began to go north of 300 pounds, and as a result, he lacked the quickness to really be the type of scoring threat that he once was. Number 3. Eddy Curry, 350 pounds. Curry was selected with the 4th pick in the 2001 draft, right out of high school. The Twin Tower combination of Eddy Curry and Tyson Chandler had the city of Chicago buzzing with excitement. And by Curry's 4th season with the Bulls, he was averaging 16.1 points per game and 5.4 rebounds per game. In his 7th season, he was averaging 19.5 points per game and 7 rebounds per game for the New York Knicks. Curry was a legitimate offensive threat. However, by his 10th season in the league, he was already showing signs of wear and tear in his body. Curry was becoming heavy set and he could not get the type of lift that he was used to getting, which pretty much derailed the rest of his career, since he was already such a poor rebounder and defender. Number 2. Shaquille O'Neal, 350 pounds. In 2005, a body mass index survey conducted by the Associated Press named Shaquille O'Neal not only obese, but the most obese player in the NBA. Weight problems have followed him throughout his time in the NBA, and although they haven't prevented him from succeeding, he has often been larger than necessary. And with his increasing age, his plodding size will wear on his body and continue to result in the gradual decline of his skills. But expecting to play only 20 minutes per game, Shaq is definitely still able to positively contribute to the C's quest for a championship. Number 1. Oliver Miller, 375 pounds. Quite frankly, it's amazing that Oliver Miller was even able to get up and down the court with lightning-fast NBA point guards. Most big men struggle keeping up with the fast-paced game of the NBA, so it's hard to know whether to applaud the Big O for being able to play in the NBA or to critique him for being so heavy despite being a professional athlete. But Oliver Miller was able to play 9 seasons in the NBA, despite all of the excess weight that he had to carry running all over the court. Imagine wearing a 150-pound vest as you tried to shoot a basketball, and that is basically what Oliver Miller had to do versus everyone else. Despite their heavyweight rankings on the weighing machines, some players were a loss for the NBA and were not able to make their career up to the mark. But some of them, despite their heavy bodies, were able to score up to the mark in putting the ball in the basket. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Thumbs up if you've liked it, and do hit the subscribe button so that you won't be missing out on any interesting videos from now on.